Okay, now this is a kind of origin story. Remember the classic Toy Story? It's about that actual doll. And critically speaking, Lightyear had me at the start until I quickly realized that they should have reviewed their objectives.
Let's review our objectives.
Kill the robots.
And don't die.
Don't die, it's just something you want to do every day.
It's still an objective.
If I may, we have one objective.
Now here's the objective to me. Make sure you entertain the biggest audience possible. And this film tries to do that and succeeds most of the time. This movie is based on that toy that Andy in the original Toy Story loves so much. This is the movie that he watched that made him want to buy that toy. Now, Lightyear is voiced by Captain America's Chris Evans. He does a good job, along with the voices of Uzo Aduba, Taika Waititi, and Keke Palmer. The story basically is about a mission gone wrong to this uncharted planet, and Buzz tries to make it right. But here's where it starts to go wrong. It plays with time and hyperspace. And at first it's entertaining, but after a while the time jumping gets a little confusing and even pedestrian. Make no mistake, even with an hour and 40-minute runtime, I think this movie is for kids. It's rated PG. That's 13, you know, PG. No, that's 8, 9, 10. I think that's the category for this movie. The action is fun. The character's familiar. There's even a robot cat. You see it right there? It's just funny. Issued from Star Command. Okay, it's fun. I love watching this movie with the kids that were in the audience. They buy into the entire thing, including the diversity of the cast. I like that. There's a same-sex couple. But midway through, I saw many adults going to get popcorn. It gets bogged down. Blah, blah, blah. Let me just jump to the chase, if I may. If kids are going to buy this one, adults, it may keep your attention. Lightyear is rated PG. It's in theaters only. Kids will love it. Adults will enjoy it enough. I gave this movie not a thumbs up, not a thumbs down. I gave it a meh.
You get nothing. You lose. Good
day, sir. So it's a C. Right in there. So Adam, it's not a thumbs down. It's not a thumbs up. I like listening with the kids. They were laughing and yelling at the screen. I'm being way too nice, aren't I?
You are. I heard you, Lee. What you said was it's a thumbs down. I'm with you. It's a thumbs down as well. Let me explain why. I mean, it just doesn't, the fact that this movie takes place over 60 some odd years just doesn't make any sense. They really needlessly complicated this story that should be, let's say, like the origin story of Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah.
It's not that. Once we start the story, he's already an established space ranger, and then it puts him in the kind of like this B or C level adventure, even for Buzz. I would have to think that Buzz, being the hero that he is, would have been in some better adventures than this. I don't understand that introduction at the beginning of the movie that said that this is the movie that Andy watched that made him want the toy.
Yes.
That means that this movie should feel like something out of 1995 or prior. This very much feels like a 2022 film, and that introduction kind of sets you up for something that does not follow. Also, and this is a big one, I really, really missed Tim Allen's voice in this.
No way!
Tim Allen's voice is the voice of Buzz Lightyear. Having Chris Evans voice him and not do nearly as good a job as Buzz Lightyear creates a problem for the character.
I didn't miss him at all.
Tim Allen is Buzz Lightyear. I think that he brings a lot to the character, and I thought that this was a pretty flat voice performance. There was nothing in there that made it sound like any other guy just off the street was being the voice. When you're so tied to a certain person doing a character, I think that we really missed Tim Allen in this one. And I just don't think the thing worked. I don't understand the characters, the sidekicks. We could go on. I'm going to stop myself.
But listen, this isn't for us, man. It's for kids.
Well,
they don't even know who Tim Allen is.
Well,
that's my point.
They do, because they know the voice of Buzz Lightyear from the Toy Story movies. And that's an iconic character, and that's an iconic portrayal. I think unless you're going to make better, you kind of stick with what you have. I understand why it's not him in the role, but I think that you miss a big piece of that. It just, nothing is better about Buzz Lightyear after this movie. Everything feels a little bit less than the Buzz Lightyear than we're used to from 25 years of movies.
Yeah, respect, man. You're probably right. A lot of people are saying that.
But you're right. It was okay. The kids will like it.
There you go. And we're back. All right,
This
let's
is us talking.
move on to the next movie. It's the story of a couple from Everett, Michigan that won millions in the lottery. And critically speaking, Jerry Selby was a math whiz. And when he retired, he found a loophole in the lottery.
Found this flaw.
There's a loophole that the lottery didn't see. It's right here in the math.
I don't know what this says. It looks like the numbers a crazy man drew in a cell wall.
I cannot believe you are my accountant.
All right, it's hard to believe that retirees won millions from 2 different state lotteries, but Jerry and Marge Go Large is based on the true story of Jerry and Marge Selby, a retired couple from Everett, Michigan. Now, Bryan Cranston and Annette Bening do a decent job here bringing the couple to life. Larry Wilmore, he seemed a bit out of place to me as the accountant, but okay. Rainn Wilson plays this convenience store clerk. He kind of overplays him, helps him with the scheme. And the story plays out with heart and small town sensibilities. I actually enjoyed this one, even though I think it has a bad name. Jerry and Marge Go Large, what is that? And the film has a couple of issues. The main problem is the real story is more compelling. And they give it this Hollywood treatment, and they embellish by adding these storylines and emotional effect that seemed out of place. Like that MIT versus AARP storyline. I know it's based in truth, but the way they scripted it and tried to make a villain was just too much. Okay, there, I said it. So with all that, you can make the movie watching experience better by doing this. Don't do any research on this movie before you go to it. Don't watch any news reports on YouTube about the real couple, and I think you will enjoy this film more. Do the research after. Jerry and Marge Go Large is on Paramount Plus, which is a good thing, Adam, because you don't have to pay for it. And if you know the story beforehand, it definitely takes away from this movie. It's a Michigan story. I give it a mild up. Where you at?
I'm a thumbs down on this movie. I think that you're right, that it is a nice true life story, and it is like a heartwarming tale that obviously you hear the story and you're like, that should be a movie. The movie version of it, though, tries way too hard to Hollywoodize this story, and especially with the villain character that you mentioned, who is this Harvard kid who also is doing the same thing with the Massachusetts lottery as the couple is.
Right.
There's a loophole in the game, they exploit it, they win every time that there's a drawing. But they turn this kid into such a villain, which it's just so over the top that you know that this is a ridiculous Hollywood add-on, and it takes away from the story. And then you get Jerry marching into the kid's dorm room and like browbeating him with a lesson about small town ethics. Just none of that stuff works. I think if there was a math whiz out at Harvard, they would appreciate the hustle and they would share formulas with each other. He wouldn't say, "Oh, the money must be mine."
Which is closer to reality, because the lottery just wants people buying tickets, so they don't care. Yeah,
and so everything that is done to make this story a movie doesn't work. The real story is a really good story, and there's a 60-minute story on YouTube
it's great.
that is better than this movie.
You know what? You know what just happened, man?
What?
I think both times I actually agree with you, man.
That's why we do this.
What in the world's happening right now? But I think you're right. I'm really close to it down now. Closer. My man.
Bring it.
My man. Respect.
Come with me.
Yeah.
Bring it down.
Yeah.
No,
It's not. It's a Michigan story. I'm up.
It's a Michigan story. The real story's better.
Okay. Respect.
And they filmed Michigan in Georgia.
They shot it in Georgia. Okay, we're moving on. Another movie out this week is a remake of a 1950s film, or a redo of that 1991 remake.
Sophie?
She's not here yet.
Fathers play a big role in their daughter's life. It's a special bond.
Andy Garcia is the new father of the bride in this new family rom-com remake. This time it's set in Miami with a daughter that brings home a boyfriend that is now a fiancé. Father of the Bride stars Andy Garcia along with Gloria Estefan. Nice. It is on HBO Max right now. When we come back, Cha-Cha Real Smooth is on the Movie Watch. CriticLee speaking. Next.